I hate seeing you like this, so I'm flexing my eyes real hard to keep from crying. It's okay. We can still have a normal conversation. So, how's the food?
The Cyclops will drown you in your overwatered lawns.
Oh, David, could be worse. You guys could be a total power failure.
Eat glass.
It's Hard-Headed Sports with Spinny and Fetty Bus. Famous for their podcasts, you can now catch them right here on The Al Travis Show.
Well, we're lucky to have him anyway. It is Fetty Bus on the Al Travis Show. Fetty, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Al?
Oh, it's just one of those great weeks in sports. I mean, you get, other buildups, the NFL draft, you got the start of the NFL season. There are a lot of good weeks in the world. But a weekend with a great Masters tournament, all the last games that mattered in the NBA as far as who was sitting where and that sort of thing, it was TV Palooza for this guy. I watched it all. It was just a great week. Just a great week in sports.
It was. It was definitely a great weekend in sports. That Masters tournament was insane. The ups and downs of it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and obviously it's not news, buddy, but I just imagine they did this whole thing. You get like 15 special deals when you end up winning the Masters. It's like $4 million. Rory made $4 million last weekend. Like
4.2 mil.
How nice is that?
Yeah,
and Rose comes in out of nowhere and gets himself 2.5 or something like that. It's tough to feel sorry for even the losers when you get 2.5 mil. But what a great contest! That was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do actually feel a little bad for Justin Rose. That was his second time losing a playoff in the Masters. So he's been close, just like Rory, throughout his career. He hasn't been able to get it done. So I do feel bad for Rose. He's obviously a little older. So
yes, he might be on the last leg of all that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a fun Masters. The weather was fantastic. No one can complain. Most of the errors that happened with DeChambeau, all unforced. They just hit a bad shot. You hit in the wrong spot, and you're out of this tournament. That one is just so much fun to watch. So that was going on. And then, of course, you had your Timberwolves playing their last game of the season on Sunday. So were the other, there are 3 basketball games, 6 teams that all mattered in where we would sit. You could do nothing but win your own game, and we did. And then things played out right, and we end up with a 6th seed. What are your thoughts on us being a 6th seed and getting to take on the Lakers?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously love the fact that we avoided the play-in and don't have to play these games this week, but get that rest. That's big time. That extra week of rest is honestly the biggest reason to avoid the play-in. But 6th seed was like the last seed I wanted, honestly. I did not want to face the Lakers in the first round, but I think we can still get it done. We honestly can. We're a deeper team than them. They obviously have better stars overall. Ant's up there with LeBron and Luka, obviously, but LeBron, Luka, and Reeves. I mean, that trio right there is better than the best trio that we could come up with. But it's going to be a tough series, Al, man. I'm not going to lie.
Well, give me your matchups. Let's talk this through a little bit. Is it who do you put on Luka Doncic? You're not throwing Ant there. That height would kill him. You got to let him go do his thing. Do you put Rudy Gobert on Luka Doncic?
It's got to be. They did this earlier this season, playing. Actually, I think Luka might have still been on.
He was still in Denver.
He was still on the Mavs when they did this, I believe. But I wonder if it should be Julius Randle. He's bigger bodied. He's strong. He's not he's still quick. Obviously, he's not like Rudy, who's a little slower laterally, right? So I think it might have to be Julius to start, because then you could throw McDaniels on LeBron or on Austin Reeves, and then Ant on the other one of those two. But I think it's got to be Randall or McDaniels for sure. Okay. But as we saw last year, McDaniels has the length, obviously, to guard Luka, but he's not strong enough. Luka would just body him, get enough space to shoot it over him, and then it was over from there. So I think the strength of Randall could potentially give Luka some issues. But, I mean, we're talking a top 5 player in the world, so anyone that's guarding him is going to have a tough job.
Well, yeah, but your other issue, besides being top 5, and then you got, the king over on there as well, is that this thing that they created, bringing Luka over here, it is all blown out if they go out in the first round, right? Everyone's going to say, what, this is a terrible make. These people know it all matters about this win against Minnesota to move forward. I think they're going to play with a fierceness that we haven't seen. I am very concerned about the Lakers. I would have mattered played the Denver Nuggets, the Clippers. I am so worried about these Lakers.
Well, just in the context that we could have beat the Mavericks that had LeBron and Kyrie. Obviously, Kyrie's very good, but he's not LeBron James either.
Yes.
So, and then there was no number 3 on the Mavs last year that is as good as Austin Reeves. So that's going to give us issues too, because we're throwing all of our attention at LeBron and Luka, but they're such high IQ players that they're just going to be able to pick us apart. I am definitely this is the team I wanted the least amount in the first round. I wouldn't lie. I was honestly I almost wanted the 7th seed just so I could play the Rockets.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I could see that. Now let me ask you this: so it's a 7-game series. What's their number? I've been picking. I hate to be this guy. I think we lose in 6.
Obviously I'm going Wolves in 7, but that's just the homer in me.
Well, and if we get to 7, it's anybody's bet. I would give you that. If we get to 7, you got to get to 7.
And we have the roster. We have the capability of beating this team. We really do. It's just Luka Doncic in the playoffs. That dude, I don't know. I have nightmares from last year still, so I'm a little scared.
But you say that we have had the team. I've been saying that all year long. We have got the players on this team. It didn't even bother me. But they don't show up a lot of times. You lose, they just or they give up a quarter and say, whatever, we won't do anything this quarter. We'll come back next quarter. I don't know that they're smart enough or savvy enough to realize you don't get that opportunity in the playoffs to just take a quarter off. So that's what bothers me about it.
That's my biggest worry too for the Wolves is exactly what you said. That consistency aspect over a 7-game series. You can't afford, especially against a team with LeBron and Luka, you can't afford to drop a game just because you didn't show up or you weren't fully mentally locked in. Like, we can't have any of those lapses that we've seen throughout the regular season.
That's exactly right. Now, let me ask you this. In this play-in world, which I get it, an extra, ball game everybody's going to be watching tonight. If it weren't for the play-in, you wouldn't be watching me watch any of these teams this evening. The Miami Heat is 8 games under 500, and they're playing for a spot to get into the tournament. You know what I'm saying? Why is that? You spent an entire year, 80 games, 82 games, and you could not win half of your games. Why are they allowed to play into the tournament?
Yeah,
I don't know that I like it.
I've liked it honestly so far, but this is where it gets bad because the East is just not deep enough, right? So I mean, you mentioned the Heat, but even the Bulls are 4 games under 500.
Exactly.
So.
Hawks are 2 games. Their best guy, the 7th, that made 500 ball. They won half their ball games. Well, then you get into the playoffs. I don't know if I'm a big fan. Now, on our side, you look at it, these are, the next 2 teams, 7 and 8, are literally 1 game out, tied 20s, 20 games out, but they're both
14 games.
14 games over 500.
Yeah.
They should be playing this. You're absolutely correct. So I don't know. It drives me crazy. I don't know if I like it or not. Your thoughts? The play-in tournament.
I do like it. It just adds a fun little element, I think. It makes these teams have to earn it. I like that. But obviously, I do expect the Magic just to win right away. I do expect probably the Hawks to beat either the Heat or the Bulls,
Okay.
So I'm not really expecting any upsets this year. But I just like the aspect that they have to kind of prove it, prove that they belong.
All right, fair enough. Now let's look at the other side. Golden State and Memphis. That's the game I want to watch tonight, but I am not the kind of guy to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning to watch another man's team. Who wins that ball game?
I got to go Warriors. Obviously, Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler on the same team. Obviously, the Grizzlies, they got talent, but I don't know if you're going to be able to beat Steph and Jimmy in a 1-game matchup.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that game they played on Sunday was phenomenal. What a fun contest. And then you have Dallas and Sacramento, and I wouldn't watch that game if it weren't, in fact, it was a play-in tomorrow.
That one's tougher. Both teams obviously made trades during the season that made their teams worse. Losing De'Aaron Fox for the Kings, obviously trading Luka was the worst trade of all time for the Mavs. I'm still going to take the Mavs, though. I think they're they have more veteran experience, especially in the playoffs. And I think AD is probably the matchup nightmare for the Kings. They have nobody that can match up against AD. So I'll take the Mavs in that game, but I don't think the Mavs or the Kings can beat the Grizzlies. So I think it's still going to be Warriors Grizzlies in the playoffs.
All right. I appreciate that a ton. And then we'll talk on Thursday about Saturdays. Saturday is just a great lineup of basketball games from noon right to 7:30 when we start with the Lakers. It's going to be a great day of basketball. We'll talk about that as we get closer to the week. We've got more to talk about. How about your Minnesota Twins? We talk about those after this with Fetty Bus from Hard Headed Sports on the Al Travis Show.
There are many ways to explore Alexandria. Some like to experience the outdoors and all the fun winter in Minnesota can provide. Pick your favorite way to get in touch with nature. Others like to explore downtown in the warm comfort of a boutique or gathered around a table with friends. You can do all of that or relax and do nothing at all. Come explore Alexandria. Start planning at explorealex.com.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you its most popular show of all time, Grease. You'll hear all your favorite hits from the Broadway musical and the movie. Join the whole gang at Rydell High. We'll sing, we'll dance, we'll bring you back to high school life in the 50s. Poodle skirts, bobby socks, the soda shop, and drive-in movies. Grease, it'll rock your socks off. Order your tickets today. Visit chanhassendt.com.
You don't need to ask him his opinion more than once. Al Travis on the Al Travis Show.
And we've got him, Fetty Buzz from Hard Headed Sports. Fetty, anything in this Minnesota Twins lineup, pitching, offense, defense, anything on this squad that makes you want to get out of bed and watch a ball game?
Not a single thing, Al. I'm being completely honest. I'm sure you're in the same boat as me.
Let me throw a couple stats out. 5-12, that's the start. It is the worst start in Minnesota Twins history for 17 games. They've had
way, is it actually? I didn't see that.
I just read that something this morning. 6 errors by pitchers so far in 17 games, most of them throws to first base. 10,240 fans, the smallest in history for the target field, except for COVID when they wouldn't let you come in.
Yeah, I saw the picture of the fans at opening pitch yesterday. That was so depressing. Honestly, I've never seen anything that depressing in Twins history. Like, there was no one there. Obviously, I know it was a little windy. It was a little wet yesterday. It wasn't the greatest weather, but still, the attendance has been dropping like crazy since opening day. It's
But
insane.
why would it not? What are we doing? We're hitting
No,
a team as a team. I think we're hitting 200, right? Let me see. Did the batting
203. Yep.
There we go. 203, my friend. That's what we're hitting. 1 in 5 people will hit a ball. That's not.
Yeah.
You're not showing me the pitching. Hey, you're more likely to make an error as a pitcher now than to get anybody struck out. That's not quite true, but it's almost
274 on base percentage. That's just pathetic. 327 slugging. That might be the most embarrassing stat, even with the 3. It's just we have no batting whatsoever. Buxton 179. Like how? Correa 153. Like this is that dude's supposed to be like our best player. We paid him to be our best player.
How about Ty France? Here's a kid you don't know. He's the best hitter on the team, 288.
Literally.
He's the draw.
He would be better if he could take walks, but at least he's not striking out like everyone else. He only has 5 strikeouts on the season. Everyone else is in double digits. So I don't see this changing. I really don't.
No, that's sad to say that, my friend. But
you get what you pay for, right? Like you get what you pay for. The Pohlads refuse to spend money, and like you're not. I mean, in all reality, you compare our lineup just name wise to other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's no surprise that we're this bad. Like no offense, Matt Wallner, Trevor Larnach, Eduardo Julian. Like none of these dudes would be starters on any other team.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how will they survive? We are 1 game ahead of the Chicago White Sox, who the over-under on them is a 50-win season. Yeah. Minnesota comes in anywhere like that. This franchise is down, right? We'll put up with a lot. Get me to the playoffs, and I can get out in one series. I can live with that. That's the Minnesota way. But to be scolded and hit upside the head like this in a division that is the worst in baseball, I don't know that Minnesotans will put up with it much longer.
No, we won't. I think the attendance will continue to drop, and the Pohlads, they have to do something in the offseason. We just, like the other year, we win our first playoff series in 20 seasons, and they cut payroll. Like, how does that make any sense? How do you think you're going to get the fans to stay interested in the team? I don't get what goes through their head, because there's no way this is a strategy for success. Like,
well, they're going to come up with new colored uniforms that everybody will buy when they get there, but no one's going to be there to buy them. With 10,000 people showing up this day, you kidding me? Yeah, that's tough. Now, if you're a sports fan at all, and I'm sorry, you can be both a baseball and basketball fan, you have an option tonight, right? Maybe not the greatest teams in the world when it comes to basketball, but they're games that mattered. Do you go sit out in the cold?
Yeah, exactly. Like no,
you go to a bar and watch the games.
Yeah, for sure. No one's going to be watching the Twins game tonight.
Yeah, and it's just so sad so early in the season to fall off like that. But again, the leaders on this team, who are they? You'd think it's Bucks, and he's hitting 177. He's not leading this squad.
Yeah.
Who is?
I do think it'll get a little better, right? Like, I obviously don't think Correa is going to finish the season batting 150. Like, I'm assuming some of these guys will start improving a little bit, but as a team, like, I don't think we're ever going to get back, really, this season at least, to winning baseball. I really don't.
That's just sad.
It's sad to say, but I just don't see where that production is going to come from.
No, I don't necessarily disagree. Was it 2 years ago when maybe it was already 3? Things go so fast. Didn't we have the batting champion, right?
Yeah,
Aguilar. And we just let him go.
We're not
guy got on base all the time. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We're not that far removed from good Twins teams, but we just refuse to pay money. So then, of course, if you're in baseball, there's no salary cap. You have to pay money to be good. Yeah. And so we have owners that refuse to spend money, which makes no sense, because it's like fans aren't going to come to your games unless you put in a respectable product on the field. So I don't understand how they think they're going to make money. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. All right, we've got to fly. We're out of time. How does someone pick up Hard Headed Sports Spin?
YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Yes, for Spinny, and I'm talking to Fetty. Sorry about that, Fetty, my friend. No, we'll get you back. We'll get you back here on Thursday, my friend. Thanks for being here.
Of course. Thank you.
Dust from gravel roads and driveways does more